this is one of those things where it has the potential to be long-winded, and I don't really want it to be. But so I'm gonna try and speak as fast as I can here and still be understandable. Last night I got into one of those sprees where I was making videos and I kept having ideas like coming to my mind. One of the things that came to mind that I wrote down on my notepad before I went to bed was giving gifts, like what it takes from you to get something free from me. Because a lot of people that have met me know that I'm a giver. I don't mind giving things to people. I don't mind helping people out. If you strike me as a certain kind of person, you give me a certain kind of vibe, I got no problems with giving things to you for free. I've offered plenty of times. And it got to the point where I had to stop because the people I'm offering to give shit to are not to be trusted. They'll either disappear and do whatever they're going to do secretly or try to fucking sell the gifts they were given. You know, we just recently had this issue with the giveaway where I was going to give away Pistons. And the only reason why that shit didn't get given away is, well, two reasons why it didn't get given away. One, the initial thing that I asked, the initial criteria I asked for the Pistons to be given away was never actually met. And secondly, even though they weren't met, I lost my list, my selection list of who I was going to give to. That's legit. That wasn't some weird excuse. At this point, I get enough free stuff given to me where it's not a big deal for me to give out something. All right? So another quick example of me and how I operate and how I work the way I work is this. You know, I met my wife when I was 23 or 22. I was 22 years old when I met my wife. When I met my wife, I didn't give her anything. I'm not the wine and dine type shit. I don't give money. You know, it's not something I do. I don't like to invest in something that might not turn out to be anything. I made mistakes like that when I was younger. I wasn't gonna do that again without being proven. But since everything worked out, it was all well and good. I married my wife. Now I've spent the last 12 years of my life giving. I haven't really gone out and bought anything for me. The only thing that I've bought for me that I haven't made money off of is the SI, and that's in years. I barely even buy clothes. Most of the new clothes I got is like random shit that my wife brings, and I yell at her when she does that because I don't want her shopping for me, for one thing, and two, I don't want her spending money on clothes if I'm not ready to spend money on clothes. So, the first engine I ever gave away for free, I had the guy pay shipping, and I sent him the block, and I never heard from him again. Now, you may think, well, he paid for shipping, so he didn't give away for free. Yeah, I did. I didn't get any money in my bank account for that. That went to FedEx. All right. Typically speaking, I sell a cast piston forged rod short block for $1,500. All right. So that's a decent amount of money. So now we're going to current situation. What pushed me to make this, you know, and sometimes I think God's whispering in my ear, like, hold off on making things because it may have some shit to add to it later. So one more case of a scenario. The last person I gave something to for free that I feel 100% good about. I had Roger. Roger bought a block for me a year or so back, a couple years back, and it was a no hassle customer. He paid up front in full, and yeah, it was great. When he got the engine running in a quick amount of time. I got videos. You know, he sent me a video of him unboxing it, sent me the video of the first startup, sent me a video of some pulls, and then we had an issue. Now, me and Roger spoke. You know, like when the issue came up, of course, I'm there for customer support. And, you know, eventually running some ideas back and forth. And like the theory was that we lost a ringland, piston ringland. Engine comes apart. Sure enough, piston ringland's gone. Now, nothing that shows to me that that's a builder error. Based off the tuner's tune, what he estimated the power level was, and what I rate the pistons for, was well exceeded. And I mean, the fact that the piston ringland failed in short order goes to show me that the power levels are just too high for the piston. So, even though the fact that it was not something that I figured that I did, there's not a builder failure there, I still like the dude. And I have a set of brand new forged pistons given to me by Nippon Racing that I wasn't going to use anytime soon. I'm not gonna do really any B series for me anytime soon. That's like all my plans are either D or K. So I'm like, well, you know, send me the rods back, and I'll give you, you know, I was like, I'll you know, you can pay for the machine shop fees because the pistons were 81.5, and it's like, and I'll assemble this new block for you and send it to you. So I did that. Now, did he pay some machine shop fees? Yeah. Again, I'm not taking any money for that. So, would that still be considered a free thing? Yeah. You know, despite the fact that he gave me rods back to use of the build, I still spent labor time to assemble that block. Not asking any money for that. But anybody else in the world, I'm not going to do for free. I'm going to charge. But, and you know, and not to mention the fact that I gave $550 pistons for free. So $550 pistons plus my labor, which is generally $350 to $450, depending on if you're bringing me something or if I'm already assembling a block for you. But the whole point there being, if you deal with me and we're good, you give me content to make off of what I've sold you, whatnot, you keep in contact. If you have any issues, I'm there to support, and we'll try to make it better. So I met a guy years ago, 5-6 years ago, and I sold him a transmission. And it's one of those things where, like, you know, can I verify for the transmission being good or whatnot? I was like, no, I don't open transmissions. It's not something I deal with, so I can't really say for sure whether the trans is good. But I got it from somebody who I trust, and I think the transit's good. But even then, you can't be 100% sure. Well, this particular guy, we had conversation, we vibed. So I think in the moment, I told him, like, hey, dude, like, I got nothing going on. We can swap that transmission real quick. Just bring your car here, and we'll swap the trans in my driveway. Spur of the moment idea. It's not something I would offer to everybody. But the dude, we vibed, we connected, so I figured I'd offer that. I think he said no because he had something he needed to do or whatever. He wound up sitting on it for a long time. Dude wound up being friends on Facebook. Like, he was there at the beginning when VHP engines started to take off and grow, seen the rise of VHP engines. He's been a long time viewer and follower or whatnot. So another couple years ago, not that far back, I had built a block that I was going to give to somebody. We had a disagreement on his head that he was going to use. He decided to go with a friend's advice over mine. I felt a little bit salty about this. You know, again, because one of those situation scenarios, like, worst case scenario, bro, like, if you got a failure, I'm here. We'll take care of it. And I don't believe there would be a failure. It turns out that it wouldn't have been a failure at all. Like, and I knew it then, but, you know, he hesitated, so we didn't go that route. Now I'm sitting on an engine block that I, you know, built to give away to somebody, and sure enough, this dude pops up, and that's why I offered it to him. I'm like, hey, there's not very many people that would offer anything for free. How would you feel about getting this? You know. So he brings me a B20 as a core. And now I can't remember whether it was assembled or not. I would imagine it is. And so I accepted the core, broke down the block, put it aside. It probably got built and sold. I'm pretty sure it got built and sold. But now we're in a scenario where this guy who's been sitting on this long block posted for sale. I wake up in the morning, see a post from him saying, huh, that looks a lot like the block I built. I hit him up, like, hey, what are you doing? You're selling a gift. You can't do that. He's like, well, I can lower the price and sell it to you at a lower price. No. You're not going to sell me a fucking block that I built and gave to you for free. That's not how this works. He's like, oh, were you ready to give me the B20 core back? I'm like, you know what, man? It's some fuckery. It really is. Definitely 100% a situation you're making. But you know what? Sure, I got 4 B20s. I can spare one. 3 of the B20s are disassembled. One of them's assembled. So I'm like, or you saying money's tight. If money's tight, I'll give you $100 for the core. That's exactly what I pay for everything else. But now he's in a situation where he has my shit. So he's like, oh, I'm not accepting that. That's not a fair price. Not a fair fucking price. That's what I pay for all my cores. So try and sell a B20 right now and see if everybody in the world's not going to fucking lowball you. It's like, I'm definitely not going to assemble a new block to give him, so that way it's an assembled B20 like he gave me. I do have one used assembled short block right now, PHK though. He didn't give me a high compression B20. That's worth more money. So now you owe me money if I give you that block as the core, because that's not what you gave me. And obviously he's holed up for money. So do we think this is a situation where I'm going to get fucking paid? But you don't see any problem with taking a long block that I put together. We're not even talking about a short block. A long block. That's a lot more labor. So again, a short block of what that caliber is, I would sell for $1,500. It's a piston and rod block. Bolt on the head. Just bolting it on. I charge more money for that. Adjusting the valves. Charge more money for that. Setting timing. Charge more money for that. So it's like, what do you want me to do? I was like, well, take off whatever accessories that you bought. And he's like, oh, I don't think there's really any accessories on there. I was like, oh yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, it's true. I'm pretty sure I used one of my timing belts that I had. And used the head gasket he got. So I was like, I'll take the head off and give you the head gasket back. That's not a big deal. But bro, this goes to show you that you really can't trust anybody. Can't trust anybody. So now I've got a long block that's been sitting out in the wind for years. Just for a dude to turn around and sell it. And to legit believe, like, hey, I gave you the stock, unopened, unverified B20 and feel that that's a fair trade for all the fucking labor and the money that went into parts. Forged rods are over $300. Bearings are $50 to $100. Pistons are over $100. The parts alone, not counting the labor, is more than anything that I got out of it. So, with that being said, that's the very last time I'll ever give anything to anybody who hasn't spent some kind of bread with me. Like, there's got to be somebody like Roger. Roger's the one rare person that I've been dealing with since I've been doing the VHP engines that I feel 100% like on board to give things to. Like, Roger got this upgraded short block for me, and of course now it's forged pistons, not just the cast. So we expect a little bit more power, but I still like, hey, look, let's be careful here, not take it too far. You have more wiggle room to play with the forged pistons, but let's just keep it safe. When you're ready to upgrade, we can upgrade. The chances are that, you know, I'm doing good enough nowadays that it doesn't really hurt me too much to give even more expensive shit away. So Roger continues his relationship with me, continues to support, continues to bring content back. There's a good chance we go for the CSS upgrade later on down the line. But aside from him, man, this will be the last time, absolute last time that I ever offer to do anything for anybody. This is fucking ridiculous. I'm trying everything in my power not to flip my fucking shit right now. Yeah, just, you know, this is why I've always said my circle of friends is very, very short. I'm cool with everybody, talk to a lot of people, but I only have one friend right now, one friend in the world. And even that one guy, who I consider like my one true friend, we don't even really talk. So it's a situation where I'm feeling like NF in the interview, bro. I don't fuck with nobody. It's just my kids and my wife. And it seems like it's going to be that way for quite a long time. All right, guys. Yeah, that's all I got.